At any time, did you expect that the fan reaction would be this huge?
No.
What did you think was going to happen?
I thought maybe, depending how it played out, because you still don't know if it's going to go this way or if it's going to really follow this path, or maybe it could go that way, or maybe it'll die down, or you don't really know. I certainly didn't know. But maybe it would be a little controversial, I thought. I didn't realize it would be as far-reaching as it turned out to be.
Yeah. That it would
nice
become
surprise.
this phenomenon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was the character of Natalia for you modeled after someone you know, or is when you're approaching Natalia, how do you go about doing that?
Well, we're extremely opposite, and then there's also all these cultural things and things like that they're so similar, and I know that person, and I've seen that in that person, and I know it's a lot to draw from.
Mm-hmm.
So she's sort of like an amalgam of things that I kind of know.
In what ways are you
seen.
similar?
Just I get the whole growing up in the city, and there are a lot of single women out there raising children that I know personally, my family and things like that, and that whole relationship she had with Rafe was really important, and I really got that because I've seen it, and it's been in my family. So things like that I could really relate to. And there's other things that are just completely different.
What's different? How are you opposite?
She's really set in her ideals, and I'm really a lot more loosey-goosey than that. Loosey-goosey, that's a good term, yeah. Yeah, she's just kind of got this moral ground that she really tries to stick to, which is really nice, but also gets her into a lot of trouble as well. And I'm really not like that at all.
Were you raised with the same sort of religious ideas?
No, religion for us in our family was really not structured that way.
Mm-hmm.
It was, the age-old, spiritual people, but not, not in the same way that Natalia is. I mean, it's kind of what she relies on. Her faith is kind of what she turns to. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
At any time during the story, were you ever concerned that it would be pulled, or that it would either the sponsors or the network or somebody would get nervous and put the kibosh?
Worry about it too much. I always understood that it could be a possibility. You never know if things are going to work out. And I've seen it happen with other stories. Sometimes they kind of, ignite, and sometimes they kind of just fade away. So, yeah, I didn't know. I thought it could happen either way. Mm-hmm. But it turned out the other way, so it was good.
Why do you think the Otalia, as the fans call them, have become such a phenomenon this past year?
What I've been told is that they just really like the story. They like the way it was written. They like the way that the characters spoke to each other in a real way. They liked the conflict of what they were going through. There's a lot of stuff there that people could relate to, and that it was different to see, and it wasn't the age-old triangle thing that people maybe get tired of sometimes. It was really different, and people just really thought it was real.
I think so too. And
Okay,
I think,
good.
Aside from two women, it was also just a story about two people,
Mm-hmm.
and the conflict came from the characters. It didn't
Yes.
come from explosions or people coming back from the dead. It was really just character-based.
It was watching two people fall in love under really different circumstances.
Right. Now, that being said, myself and many of our listeners and viewers have had a huge problem with the way Natalia left Olivia on the 4th of July.
Why? I'm just kidding.
And I just want to ask, what do you think about that? Is there anything you want to say about that?
There's not a whole lot I can say about that. You got to play the story as it goes and just be committed to whatever the story says. And she freaked out and she left, and it happens sometimes, especially because she's been in the situation before, and here we go again. And then when you find this little piece of happiness, and then something happens that you're not sure is going to fit in with it, she freaked out. I mean, that's the best description I can give for it, and that's how it happened. But she came back.
Well, and I was going to say, now in real life, you gave birth.
Yeah.
And apparently you came back early from your maternity leave.
I'm here, obviously. So
Right.
It's not like I'm, yeah.
Right. Was that important to you to have some time to be here and to...
Well, considering we only have a certain amount of time left, I really wanted to be here for the end of it all and see the story through to whatever it was going to be.
Mm-hmm. What would you have liked seen happen for, given another 2 years of storytelling? What would you have liked to have seen happen for Natalia?
I don't know. I could end up, in 2 years. You know what can happen in 2 years? I didn't really think that far ahead. I really wanted it to just... I wanted to be just committed to what was happening now. Mm-hmm. Because 2 years of story, I could end up,
Mm-hmm.
I can't even think of anything creative to say right now. It's
well,
just too
in your heart,
overwhelming.
what
All
would you
the
have liked to have seen
possibilities.
happen for
Oh, well,
this couple?
you always want the sort of happy ending.
Mm-hmm.
And I say sort of because it just can't be, a regular happy ending. But yeah, it would have been nice to see the relationship pan out from, where they left off, to see how long it can last, how far they could take it, how, what family became for them, all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Following Guiding Light, what are your plans now? What are your plans?
I have a baby, so I no longer make plans. It's impossible. I'm gonna have a really nice time with my baby, and figure out what happens after that. Okay. Hopefully, still work as much as possible, and have a nice little balance. That's what we all want, I guess.
Okay. And is there anything that you have learned from Natalia that you're going to take with you after this experience?
I like Natalia's faith. I like that she has something that kind of guides her through when she's not being, incredibly smart about situations or fair about things, and that's where she goes to, and that's what helps her try to be a good person.
Great. And anything you want to say to our fans out there and our viewers and listeners who are going to miss you and on seeing that Guiding Light on their screens every day, anything you want to say to them?
Thank you so much, guys. And it's been a joy, and I know you guys have been some long-time faithful viewers, and thank you for embracing me and this little storyline, and just the people that have reached out. Thank you so much. It's been wonderful.